Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back. Well, past couple days, I thought I'd have a little bit of fun. So I built a custom Crosman 2260 rifle, and so we got a $13.99 stock on here, 2240 pistol grip, Crosman steel breech, 4x32, center point scope, 24-inch barrel. Got a custom cocking handle that looks like a pointed pellet. It's pretty neat. Shotgun shell holder that will hold 5 CO2 bottles, plus of course one in the gun ready to go. So what we're going to do is some Chrony Results. Now the hammer spring that's in here is a 2240 hammer spring. They made the Crosman 2260 in both a PAL and a non-PAL version, so non-PAL being under 500 feet per second. So 2240 hammer spring and a Crosman 1377C restricted transfer port that comes out of the Canadian 1377s. So that's what's in here, and let's Chrony her with some 14.3 grain Crosman Premier pellets. 22 cal, definitely, yes, we are 22 cal, not 177. And let's see what kind of numbers we get. So I've got a fresh bottle in here, so let's ignite it and see what kind of numbers we get here. So I'm going to zoom in on the Chrony a bit so you can see the actual numbers popping up here. Well, that was interesting. 161.1, and we blew a whack load of ice at the barrel. I've never seen that before. Must be a bum bottle. I guess we'll find out. Well, there we go. Now we're good. 486.6. That's about as close as I'd want to try pushing this one, speed-wise. .7. Now as far as temperature goes, it's at least a good 20, maybe 22 degrees in the basement right now. My basement's heated. The furnace just kicked off too, so this is actually a good fair test, because when you're shooting in the summertime outdoors in 20-degree weather, you'll know what your gun's running at, and so it helps a lot. So when you're pushing, say, close to 25, 30 degrees outside, your CO2 is going to be warmer, so that number is actually going to go up a little bit. I mean, it's not going to go up a whole tremendous amount. I mean, 484, you might be talking another max 10 FPS. Error. Oh, we've got an error over sensor 2 again. Let's reset the Chrony. .3. Just so you know, in a Canadian version of this, you're going to get a lot more shots per bottle than you would in the US version, because they use a 2240 transfer port and a 2289 hammer spring in that version. .0. It's actually doing really well. The numbers are good. .7. Error 2. That's fine. Okay, so the next test we're going to do is we're going to turn out my halogen lights. Now they're not actually facing the Chrony directly. We do have our lighting kit installed, so it's going to give us the light we need, but what we want to see here is a variation on FPS by taking the halogens out of the picture. Where everybody already knows that fluorescent lights interfere, which is why my basement lights are not turned on. And I have one incandescent bulb turned on that's behind the camera, which is about roughly 8 to 10 feet away from the Chrony, and it's only a small 60 water, so it's not even an issue there. So let's turn out the halogens, and we'll see what kind of numbers we come up with now. So we reset the Chrony, so we're starting out fresh here. Error number 2. So error over sensor 2. Error number 2. Why are we getting an error 2 show up here? Looks like maybe the it looks okay. That one's clean. Let's see if maybe, let's try another shot first, then we'll see if this is because the sensor might be dirty. Error number 2. Okay. Somehow our sensor managed to get dirty. So let's see if I've got something down here I can clean it with. Okay, I'll shut the camera off and I'll be right back. Okay guys, Chrony's back up and running. I had to clean the sensor. That was scary. Alright, now let's go back to this turning the light off deal and see what happens. $454.7. $454.7. I'm going to reset the Chrony again. Just make sure we're not seeing things. That errored. You got to be right bang on these sensors. It's pretty crazy. $454.8. I'll just light that up so you can see it. Okay, so we'll take another shot. Lights back on. I'm going to be running low on gas soon anyway, but $454.6. So lighting with these lights, awesome, and that's with nothing else on but an incandescent, which is far enough away. Turning the halogens off really makes no difference, so it works to be a benefit either way. I mean, the big thing with Chronies though is you got to keep the barrel or whatever you're shooting through it dead on center, because they're pretty sensitive that way. So 454.6. Okay, so let's reset. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom out here and I'm going to show you one of the best ways with a pellet gun anyway, especially a rifle, to hold it over the Chrony. So what we're going to do is I'm going to put it dead center in the middle of our chest, and we're going to go up about like this, and we're going to eyeball it for the center. 453.9. I mean, we're getting some really good numbers, good gas usage. You know, $452.2. Now, how sensitive the Chrony is, let's aim a little higher here. Let's go up about, right about here. Error number 2. So we were definitely off center for sure. So let's try that again. .439.5 is what it reads way high up. Probably down to that anyway. Let's go back down below. 443.6. So you are best to shoot as close as possible to the sensors. Just don't shoot the sensor. So, you know, we're talking maybe the length of your middle finger as far as height goes, and as close as you can to just behind the sensor, because you're trying to measure the speed of it as it exits the muzzle. So you want the best possible reading there. But not bad for a Canadianized 2260 rifle. And you let the gas sit and warm up and your speed goes back up. So 450.9 for that one. So there you go. Now what we're going to do, we've run a lot of shots through this thing. If anybody's been counting, it'd be kind of handy because I didn't. But I'm going to shut the camera off for a minute, and then I'm going to let this CO2 warm back up, and we'll see what kind of numbers we get after all those shots and just letting it sit and warm back up. So we'll be right back. Hey guys, we've given it a couple of minutes there, so let's see what happens now after letting it warm back up. 467.2. So just by letting it sit for like 2 minutes, we've gotten a lot of extra FPS back. So, which also goes along to proving those who think it's a myth, the colder CO2 gets, the more it doesn't perform. The warmer it gets, the better it performs. But you got to watch that temperature, you know. I mean, 30, 35 degrees outside, not a big deal. Just don't lay your gun in that kind of heat and walk away for a half an hour with a loaded cartridge in it, or you're going to blow your seals out of your gun. So let's take one more shot, and that'll be the end of our video. .464.9. Okay, so that concludes our video for our little custom 2260 rifle and the Chrony Results using 14.3 grain Crosman Premier hollow points. And anyhow, leave your comments, feel free. Got any questions, feel free to ask. And otherwise, we'll see you on the next video for sure.